can't be serious about that, can you?
I'm very serious about it.
I'll give him credit for that because there's a lot of the bravery for running away when he got tired.
No, the bravery.
Sorry.
No, go.
Sorry. From round one, running away, jumping up and down, falling down on the floor. Yeah.
Dollars.
He did not, but go ahead.
Or a clown show. For a freaking clown show. Jake Paul embarrassed himself, embarrassed the sport, and embarrassed everyone that calls himself a fighter.
This moment instantly went viral. Stephen A. Smith confronted Jake Paul live on air after his brutal knockout loss to Anthony Joshua. Smith directly questioned Jake's decision to step into the ring with an elite heavyweight so early in his boxing journey, calling it extremely dangerous and unnecessary. He made it clear that this level of risk could end a career fast.
Definitely, I need a few more fights. I'm not taking him on in my next bout, but a couple more years of experience with the team I got. I'm surrounded by the best team in the world possible that money can afford, so I'm getting exponential.
Jake, however, stayed confident and composed. He said he still has everything he needs to succeed in boxing. The best trainers, the best team money can buy, and the motivation to keep going. Jake insisted that this loss does not define him and will not stop his boxing career. According to him, the setback is just part of the journey, not the end of it. After the fight, Logan Paul stepped in to defend his brother from the wave of criticism online.
These are haters. Haters gonna hate. It's just the name of the game, you know. When you're operating at the high level that my brother and I are, the haters come with it. I mean, statistically speaking, part-timer, I think the narrative's dead. I've been showing up every single Monday for the past month and a half. I've wrestled in 4 out of the 5 times I was there. I won every single match. So like, everyone who's yapping can now shut their trap because the narrative's dead.
I mean, you brought the receipts. I think that the proof stands for itself. And you mentioned your brother. Jake went 6 rounds on Friday night with Anthony Joshua. I know how proud you are of him. You were in the hospital with him afterwards. You called him an absolute warrior and said on your Instagram that his broken jaw won't break his spirit. How did you think, and what did you think of how the fight went down?
So, from strictly a logical point of view, I actually think it went down exactly as it was supposed to. I'm not sure anyone really thought that Jake was going to beat Anthony Joshua, but you have to understand, being his brother and in his close circle, he has this conviction that makes you believe, and he has this ability to defy reality and morph it into his vision of how it'll transpire that makes you think he'll win. However, like this was my opinion, this was a logical conclusion to the fight. The 2-time Olympian broke the influencer boxer's jaw. Like, okay, you know, we could have wrote it in a story and it would have made sense. That said, I think he did amazing. I'm incredibly proud of him. I think it was a net positive. I think the world can see now how tough Jake Paul is.
He explained that most of the backlash was coming from haters who are always going to talk, no matter the result. Logan said that once you operate at this level, scrutiny becomes unavoidable. He admitted that realistically, nobody expected Jake to beat a 2-time Olympian like Anthony Joshua. But what impressed him was Jake's confidence and willingness to take on a challenge most people would never accept. Even with a broken jaw, Jake remained positive, joking around and recording content from the hospital. Logan said this showed Jake's mental toughness, love for boxing, and refusal to be broken by adversity. According to him, true success isn't always about winning, but about daring to step forward when others would step back. Promoter Eddie Hearn offered a more grounded take on Jake Paul's performance. He addressed critics who claimed Jake was just running, saying they completely misunderstood the situation. From the opening bell,
Jake was running and Jake was hold. But listen, I mean, at the end of the day, Jake had one job, and that was to try and survive. I mean, he was never ever going to win the fight, ever. And if you would have said to me, do I think he'll go 6 rounds? I would have said absolutely not. I mean, I felt that it would take AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, because I knew Jake can move a bit and he'd be moving off the back foot and he'd be holding. But it was the way that he did it, I think, was actually quite impressive. Like, not that particular part, but the way that he would, you know, the way that he was strong in the clinch. You know, he wouldn't let AJ get his shots off in the clinch. He made him miss a few times. And obviously AJ's been out of the ring for a while. But to be honest, I think the most fascinating thing of the whole night in terms of the fight was how he didn't get flatlined by that right hand. I mean, I said going into the fight, he's probably going to take AJ a few rounds to get hold of him. And I also said, as soon as he lands clean, the fight's over, right? He landed a few before, but the first that he landed really clean was the final shot. But, you know, he never flatlined Jake. I mean, he did break his jaw in 2 places, which is a disaster, but there are a lot of heavyweights that would have been out cold from that right hand. I mean, one of them was Francis Ngannou in a pretty similar shot, really. Do you know what I mean? So I actually give Jake unbelievable credit for doing it in the first place, but his performance as well. I mean, I stand by the fact that I think he's just a decent cruiserweight, but like, he did go in with Anthony Joshua, and look, the world is full of criticism and opinions and negativity. Who else is doing what he's doing at what is he, late 20s? I mean, quite phenomenal. I mean, the guy's a complete madman. I'm watching him come out to that ring walk, and he's just a...
It was obvious Jake had almost no chance of winning against a fighter of Joshua's caliber. Because of that, survival became the goal. Hearn explained that the real question was how long Jake could last. And by going the full 6 rounds, he shocked many people. Most observers expected the fight to end early. Yet Jake endured the power and pressure of a top-level heavyweight, while he wasn't competitive in the traditional sense. Hearn believes lasting 6 rounds against Anthony Joshua is still an achievement. It showed toughness, mental strength, and the ability to function under extreme danger. Stephen A. Smith later doubled down on his criticism. He said Jake Paul cannot continue to rely on his YouTuber background.
Boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer, but then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting.
When stepping in with elite professional fighters. According to Smith, if Jake still identifies himself primarily as a content creator, then he has no business fighting world-class boxers. He made it clear that fights at this level demand full commitment, discipline, and respect for the sport. Fame, followers, and crossover popularity mean nothing once the bell rings. At the elite level, boxing exposes everything. Derek Chisora was far less forgiving. He refused to give Jake Paul real respect and questioned the idea.
You're fighting someone who you're supposed to it's not supposed to look competitive. He's not supposed to hit you. He's not supposed to go more than 3 rounds. But at the same time, you need to know how to control the pressure. I think AJ's demeanor in the build-up was someone who was like, you know what? Everyone's saying these things, but this is how I see it. Yeah, I rate him. He can box a bit. He did say in an interview with Steve Bunce that, like, when he was talking certain things, there's a part of me that wants to punch him in his face, but I'm just gonna chill. And I feel like that's how he handled the immense pressure.
The last time we saw AJ fuming like this, like when he actually tried to do something, was with Dylan. So we should not judge him when he says something like this, because when he don't say nothing, we say, oh, why is he not saying anything back? Yeah. And when he says something, we're like, oh.
That's simply stepping into the ring equals bravery. Chisora dismissed arguments from figures like Chris Eubank Jr., who praised Jake for lasting 6 rounds. He pointed out that Jake spent much of the fight running, holding, falling, and avoiding real exchanges. According to Chisora, bravery is not taking punishment for money. Real bravery is risking yourself for something bigger, like representing your country. While Jake did commit to the fight, Chisora believes surviving 6 rounds against Joshua does not automatically earn respect for courage or skill. He also criticized Jake for turning the loss into social media content, instead of accepting it with true fighting dignity.
Patience to train these guys. Now, they don't know a right hook from a meat hook. They don't know a jab, from a proper boxing jab to a jab in the arm with an injection. They haven't learnt the basic fundamentals. Nobody's taught them to keep their hands up and their chin down. Nobody's taught them how to jab properly. Like I say, these guys were just swinging shots on a wing and a prayer. And it was quite painful to watch. I don't know who coaches these guys. I don't know. Maybe they're MMA, maybe they're kickboxers, maybe they're professionals in their chosen field, but they're not being trained by boxing coaches. That's clear. What I would do, you'd have to strip them down and start from square one. And I mean, I've got a lot of guys in my gym, and a lot of these guys probably would would do better if they entered this Misfits competition. I'd have guys from my gym calling themselves world champion, because at the end of the 6 rounds, Timur was crowned and still heavyweight world Misfits champion. Well, if that's the level of opposition, I might even head a few of my guys into that, see if they can't nick a few quid. They're not going to get hurt. It's, you know, what surprises me about all of these crossover organisations that want to, you know, you've got footballers that want to be boxers, you've got MMA that want to be boxers, you've got boxers that want to be boxers, you've got table tennis, you've got cricketers.
Jake became more desperate to survive. According to the analyst, this was not bravery, it was self-preservation. With nearly $92 million on the line, many people would take the risk. But a massive payday alone does not earn respect in the boxing world.